Battlefront 2. And no, I'm not talking about the classic one that we've all heard of. I mean the one from 2017 that, in my opinion, is one of the best games of all time, and you're about to hear why. But first I have to tell you why the game is dead. And very dead. Like, barely 1,000 players are on it. Average. And first off is that there's a lot of wasted opportunity in this game. I mean, it had so much opportunity, so much potential. They could have updated it all the time, releasing new maps, new characters, expanding on the Clone Wars, instead of focusing on the sequels first, which, very bad idea. And they really messed up, because when they launched it, it already had a ton of hype, but they made it pay to win. And it took them forever to realize that that was killing their game. Once they realized it, it was too late because everyone had quit. And it's one of the best games. It's in my top 10. It's got great graphics and great characters, but no one's playing it because of that bad start. And the main problem is that they had a bad start and they didn't recover from it. And recently, EA has made more mistakes. They were in development for a Mandalorian game. But then they thought that it was a waste of too much money. They thought that it wouldn't succeed. They thought that it was a bad financial decision for the company. But then the entire fan base said to start up development again. They said they would love to have that game. They said they would buy it. But they never started up development again. And Fortnite has a lot of stuff like that. When it first started, it had a great storyline, good gameplay loop, etc., etc. But once the director for storyline quit, it went downhill, and only downhill from there. They didn't know what to do. They just started collabing and putting spam items in the game, and they ruined it. And now all they do is add collabs and spam items with a storyline that makes no sense, and the live events are so small. They're like snow globes. You shake it real hard, but it only gives you a couple seconds to watch. Its graphics are insane, though. And I've not found a game with better graphics to this day. And even games that have come out in 2025, some don't have better graphics than a game from 2017, which is crazy and honestly embarrassing. But other than the graphic, there's a lot more to this. It is extremely customizable, and it has way over 100 different ways to customize your character. As a clone, you can be any legion you want, phase 1 or 2, and for a multiplayer game, it has pretty good story. But I would focus on the multiplayer part of that game, because if you want a Star Wars story game, go buy Jedi Fallen Order, get out of this video. But if you want a multiplayer game and a story game, it's 2-in-1 for $40, and it has 2 stories. I had Inversio's first campaign and her second one during the sequels, which is only like 2 hours long. It's kind of crappy. Anyways, then there's again another downside to the game. It gets repetitive fast, even though it has around 15 different game modes, and one of those is the campaign I need to go farther in depth with. But the campaign is pretty good for a multiplayer game. It has great plot, takes place in between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. And you play as a Special Forces commander trying to figure out what to do after the Death Star explodes. Now I'm going to try not to give away too much, and so next up is the fan base. It's terrible. Tons of hackers. If someone loses 7 times and once won, they'll still say easy. And the place you will find the most toxic people, guaranteed, is in heroes versus villains. And the rest are in supremacy. And the best thing about the game is that if you ever get bored, just install another mod, because it has over 6,000 available mods for free on Nexus Mods if you sign up, because now we're talking about the sponsor of today's video. Nexus Mod. I'm just kidding, I don't get sponsors. Sponsor me. And they are working on a mod that expands the entire universe of Star Wars with extra maps, characters, skins, and more. So you can play as any character you want. But Honestly, if I were you, I would get it. Its experience is so unique, and it feels like you're a trooper in Star Wars, just trying to fit in and do what you're told so that you don't get incinerated. I'm gonna end it here. See you next time.